Today we'll be talking about the public rivalry between Teresa Giudice and Melissa Gorga, specifically how that whole thing played out with their podcasts. And then we'll also get into Teresa Giudice's, well, somewhat surprising decision about a major reality competition show. Okay, right. So let's start with the podcast situation. Melissa Gorga announced she was ending her podcast On Display with Melissa Gorga. But the reaction came fast. RHOC Entertainment, that's the company behind Teresa Giudice's podcast, Turning the Tables.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't hold back. They posted this really direct shot on Instagram. The caption was, nobody out, pizza's the hut. This is what happens when you work with RHOC Entertainment. Better podcast, better views, better pizza.
Wow. Yeah, that's not just like playful teasing, is it? It's pretty pointed. It feels like a very clear, almost calculated move to use that existing TV conflict digitally. It unmistakably clarifies that ongoing nemesis thing between Teresa and Melissa, but now it's actually being, monetized in the podcast world, turning feuds into marketing.
Exactly. And they included numbers to back it up. The image showed a direct comparison, right? Teresa's YouTube views hitting, up to 24,000 for episodes, while Melissa's maxed out at 564. That's a huge gap.
It is a massive difference.
And the fans definitely picked up on it. The comments were things like, that's the real reason she's shutting down her podcast. And makes sense why Melissa left her podcast.
Yeah, those reactions, they don't just reflect the story, they kind of amplify it, right? It creates this whole feedback loop. It demonstrates the real impact of public perception, how social media lets viewers sort of jump in and reinforce the whole drama. They really get behind one side or the other.
Okay, so that's Teresa's team, playing pretty hardball in the podcast game. But what about Teresa herself, her other moves? Because she made another interesting decision recently about a different show. She revealed she actually got an offer for Celebrity Big Brother, but she said no. And the reason is interesting. She said it was because the show takes away your phone for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And that really raises a question about, priorities for these established reality stars now. Her stated reason was very clear, very on brand. I have 4 kids, so there's no way I could go without a phone for 3 months. There's no way I'm a mom first before anything else. She listed Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana. So the rationale seems to be that keeping up her personal life and maybe her online brand presence, which requires a phone, that now outweighs the kind of exposure you get from a show like Big Brother.
Right. It's a strong stance, especially when you compare it to House of Villains. She did that show, made it to the end. And on that one, she did have phone access morning and night, I think. And it was shorter, only about a month long.
Exactly. So was it purely the phone rule or maybe the 3-month commitment being totally offline that long? It's hard to say for sure. But connecting it to the bigger picture, it really demonstrates the different demands these shows have and how personal priorities, maybe even business priorities, influence who participates. For someone established like Teresa, maybe being dark for 3 months, losing that direct social media connection, the ability to post content is just too big a cost.
Next update, we have about Jax Taylor's departure from the Valley.
Jax. His exit comes amid some pretty heavy personal stuff.
Definitely. The show's main storyline for him was his split from Brittany Cartwright,
which she filed for while he was actually in rehab for cocaine addiction. That's a lot to unpack.
It is. So his departure from the show isn't entirely surprising, maybe.
Perhaps not. Though Jax, on his podcast, In the Mind of Jax Taylor, framed it as a mutual thing.
Right. He said, myself, my team, the producers got together, and we decided to take a beat break from season 3.
Suggesting it was a collaborative decision, a pause.
Yeah, he was very clear. Just a pause, not a permanent exit.
Said it didn't seem to make a lot of sense for me to walk right back into filming, given everything else.
He mentioned wanting to avoid walking back into a dynamic like that, which makes sense, focusing on recovery.
And his official statement to Us Weekly really doubled down on that.
What did that say?
He confirmed the exit was to focus squarely on his sobriety, my mental health, and co-parenting his son, Cruz.
Okay.
Said he needed the time to become the best version of myself. It's a positive message, focusing on self-improvement.
It is. But there was also that petition, wasn't there?
There was. A fan-started Change.org petition calling for Bravo to fire him.
Why? What were the grounds?
It cited deeply concerning and offensive behavior. Things like harmful stereotypes, bullying, and negativity. It gained quite a bit of traction.
So, while Jax frames it as his choice, focused on recovery, you can't ignore that public pressure, can you?
Not at all. It adds another layer. Was it purely a personal decision, or was the writing on the wall because of fan backlash and network concerns? Probably a mix of both.
It really highlights how much influence viewers can have now. and the pressure on reality stars to manage their personal struggles very publicly.
Yeah, the line between private life and public narrative is incredibly blurred.
Next, we are going to talk about Brock Davies' candid revelations about his past affair with his wife, Scheana Shay.
Oh, yeah, this one caused quite a stir.
Definitely. The initial shockwave really came from Scheana's new memoir, My Good Side. That's where she first revealed Brock's infidelity.
Right, but what really got people talking was the timing.
Exactly. Brock telling Scheana 2 years after it happened, and specifically right after the whole Scandival thing with Tom Sandoval and Rachel Leviss blew up.
Yeah, I mean, that cheating scandal was huge on Vanderpump Rules.
So naturally, it brought up some pretty glaring questions of hypocrisy for Brock and Scheana, didn't it?
It absolutely did, and that's what's so fascinating here, those hypocrisy claims. Because, well, Brock and Scheana had been so vocal about Tom Sandoval.
Really critical of his lack of transparency during Scandival. They didn't hold back.
Not at all. So for Brock to then turn around and reveal his own past infidelity, well, it drew a lot of attention. And to his credit, he addressed it.
He did on Scheana's podcast, Shenanigans. He didn't really try to justify it, did he?
Yeah. No, he flat out said, I don't think there's really much justification for what I did. It was hypocritical of us. He even admitted to playing the coward way out regarding Ariana Madix's situation.
Call the hypocrisy real.
Yeah, his own words.
And he was pretty specific about the affair itself, which was surprising in its detail.
He was. He called it a sexual affair.
Yeah, no dating, no courting. Said it happened multiple times over a 3-week span.
And that he felt horrible about it and pulled the pin himself, meaning he ended it.
Right.
But then there's a whole psychological aspect he described, claiming he basically forgot about it.
By compartmentalizing it. That's the word he used.
Exactly. He insists he just sort of blocked it out until about a year and a half later.
On that trip to San Diego, that's when he said it hit him that his destructive actions might cost me everything.
Which brings us to Scheana's question, why wait 2 whole years?
And his answer was pretty raw. Just protecting myself.
Called himself an absolute coward, said he was saving face.
Wrote it in a letter to himself and then tried to forget it. That whole compartmentalizing thing, it's a classic defense mechanism, isn't it?
Totally. People mentally separate things to avoid discomfort. You see it a lot, especially when lives are under a microscope, like on reality TV.
But it often leads to bigger problems down the line.
Almost always.
It just makes you think about truth, accountability, and how public scrutiny complicates everything in relationships.
Definitely.
Next update we have about Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers' messy divorce and those shocking allegations.
Oh boy, this one is intense.
It really depicts a tumultuous situation. Denise, former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star, and Aaron Phypers. She's accused him of domestic abuse.
And got a temporary order of protection because of it.
But then Aaron fired back with a bombshell of his own.
Yeah, alleging Denise had an affair with her Special Forces co-star, Rudy Reyes. They got married September 2018. Aaron filed for divorce July 7th, but listed the separation date as July 4th.
And just before that, Denise's daughter, Sammy Sheen, posted that TikTok about ending toxic relationships.
Now, Aaron claims he found out about the alleged affair back in April.
He says Denise promised to stop.
That's his claim. But then he alleges she met up with Reyes again at a Hilton Garden Inn.
Which led to a huge fight on the 4th of July weekend.
Where Aaron says Denise smashed his phone. It just demonstrates a relationship really spiraling.
And Aaron sounds completely devastated. He said, I'm brokenhearted and tired.
Yeah, really. She's fed me up. We've been together 9 years.
And for her to do that and to lie to me consistently, I'm totally tired and drained. It's rough.
It is. And his allegations go way beyond infidelity. He's made some incredibly serious claims.
Like the prescription pill addiction.
Exactly. Claiming she mixes them with alcohol, stays up all night, hides bottles, even buying these huge 500-pill bottles.
Wow.
And he describes some really disturbing living conditions.
The dog situation.
Yeah, 58 dogs at one point. And finding petrified dog cup under one of the girls' beds that he says he usually had to clean up.
So how does Aaron claim he found out about the affair? The details are pretty specific.
He says he found 107 deleted explicit texts and photos on her phone. Apparently he knew her password.
He even shared one text message. Something about a potato sack.
Yeah, Denise apparently texted Reyes, I really can't wait to talk to you in person, actually. I felt a connection as a human being when I met you, and you put that potato sack over my head.
Strange.
It is. And Aaron also claims he found a second secret phone number after they were supposedly trying to rebuild trust.
Meanwhile, Aaron denies all of Denise's abuse claims.
Completely. Says she's just trying to destroy him. He even mentioned he can't get his power tools back because of the restraining order.
Next update we have about Heather Dubrow addressing those Real Housewives of Orange County rumors and all the drama.
Right. There was a lot of talk about whether this season, 19, would be her last.
But Heather addressed it head on, said, if there's an exit announcement to be made, you're going to hear it from me, and there's no announcement.
Pretty clear. Sounds like Fancy Pants is staying put for now.
But she did admit the season finale really affected her.
Yeah, she said it shook her, made her question things. Her quote was, "There were things that happened that shook me that made me go, this hurts why I'm here."
That's pretty telling, even for a veteran like Heather.
It suggests the drama this season cut deep.
And a lot of that seems to revolve around the new cast member, Katie Janela.
Oh, definitely. Her behavior caused a huge rift. Secretly recording Shannon Bedore. That's a big one.
Huge. Shannon's 61. And Katie talking to vloggers on the side. The cast wasn't having it.
No, the general feeling was that Katie crossed lines that are hard to come back from.
Heather's take clarifies the dynamic, though. She acknowledged Katie felt wrong, too.
Right. Katie felt like she had been wronged as well. But Heather basically asked, does that make retaliation okay? Especially like that.
Good question. Heather seemed confused by Katie initially, saying, I thought that she was making an effort.
But then it didn't pan out. Heather really dislikes it when people treat the group like a game.
Yeah, like Survivor and alliances and trying to do things on the side. She said it leaves a bad taste.
Which is understandable. It changes the whole dynamic from friendship to strategy.
And Heather shut down those suggestions about racial undertones or gang-ups against Katie.
Very directly. Said that's completely untrue. She basically put it all on Katie.
Her words were, Katie brought this on herself. She created these problems. Pretty blunt.
It is. Then there was the lie detector test in the finale. That's supposed to clear the air.
But Heather said she was unsatisfied at the end of it. Still had questions.
Felt like people needed to say things that weren't said. So clearly it didn't resolve the trust issues.
No. And Heather also seemed to shade Katie for sharing that recording of Shannon.
And for Katie's convictions constantly shifting. Like denying calling a blogger, then admitting it.
Right. Makes it hard to know what to believe.
Exactly. That inconsistency erodes trust fast.
Still, Heather didn't completely rule out Katie returning, did she? Mentioned her friendship with Tamra Judge.
Yeah, she said you just never know. Which is true in the housewives world, alliances shift.
Next update we have about Lexi Wood's insights on Summer House editing and her castmate, Jessie Solomon.
Right, Lexi, who's 27. Fans seem to really like her this past season.
They did, but she announced she's not coming back for season 10.
And neither is Imral Hassan, another cast member. He seemed pretty unhappy with production, didn't he?
He did hint at that. Lexi, though, she talked about her experience on Gia Giudice's podcast, Casual Chaos.
And she seemed pretty open about reality TV itself, despite the issues.
Yeah, she said she'd do it again because she loved being myself. But she was very candid about the editing process.
That's often a major point of contention for cast members.
She emphasized how challenging it is when drama gets resolved in real life, but then airs months later.
Right, you end up reliving it, maybe seeing things you didn't know at the time.
Exactly. Seeing things that were said behind your back and things were playing out differently than she remembered.
Makes you angry all over again, probably?
She said editing can make things look like they went from like 0 to 100 instantly, which wasn't always the reality.
That distortion must be frustrating.
She also described her experience joining the cast as unique, coming in with someone who then left.
Leaving her kind of isolated with a group that already had years of history, that sounds tough.
Definitely. And it played into her relationship with Jessie Solomon.
Ah, yes. The Jessie situation. She had quite a bit to say about him watching the show back.
She did. Initially, while filming and dating him, he was her most comfortable person.
But seeing everything play out changed her perspective drastically.
She said, if I knew this stuff, he definitely would not have been my most comfortable person. Big shift.
That says a lot about what was revealed through the edit, or maybe what Jessie wasn't showing her directly.
And speaking of things being revealed, the Drake rumors came up.
Oh, yeah, that was a storyline. Lexi seemed surprised it was even discussed by others.
She did. But she spoke really nicely about Drake himself, called him amazing, so talented, so sweet, comes from such a great family.
Very positive. But it clarifies how Jessie sort of fanned those flames, didn't he?
He definitely did. On that Chicks in the Office podcast, he made that comment.
You can't play it chill with somebody that's dated Drake. kind of putting her business out there.
Totally. And Lexi pointed out other instances of what she called Jesse's dishonesty.
Like him claiming she introduced him to another rapper.
Which Lexi says absolutely never happened.
So when Teresa Giudice called Jesse a clout chaser.
Lexi agreed. That's a pretty strong label. Suggests she felt he was using situations, and maybe her, for attention.
It does, but Lexi seems ready to put it all behind her now.
Yeah, she emphasized she's moved on from that entire summer and that entire situation. Said it was just 2 months of my life.
Good perspective to have.
She did give shout-outs to Gabby and Lindsay, though. Said they were always so amazing and welcoming.
Nice to hear there were positive connections, too.
And her final advice for Jesse's next girlfriend.
Pretty direct. Go with your gut if you feel like something's sketchy. It probably is.
Tells you a lot about her experience. Makes you ponder how these edited narratives stick with people long after filming raps.
For sure. The show ends, but the perception lingers.